Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now this is the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It's a great looking game that can be enjoyed by many thanks to its fairly lenient requirements. Even the special edition re-release runs well on older hardware. This is also the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, only this time we're running it at the low settings with 800 by 600 resolution and all the advanced options turned down as low as they will go. The reason for that is because we're running it on a Pentium N4200 powered laptop with 4 gigs of RAM and Intel HD 505 graphics. The laptop we're using is the Minecraft machine featured a few videos ago, and despite discovering that these specs could indeed handle the Windows 10 version of the game with reduced settings, I wanted to discover just what else it could do. These are popular entry-level laptop specs after all, so any keen gamers out there on a super tight budget might just have these components inside. You might even be watching this video with the quad-core Pentium buzzing away inside your machine right now. Skyrim then is the first game that I wanted to get running on this PC, and honestly we didn't need to do much besides turning everything way down in the graphical menu. Oh, and did I mention we had to switch to an entirely different game? This is the original version of the title, not the 2016 reimagining. So this sub-HD experience feels okay. 30 FPS seems to be the average according to Fraps, though combat intense situations do impact this and the frame rate will drop to the mid-20s. It feels like the last gen console versions gameplay wise, though it looks far worse. Bumping things up to 1280 by 720 is detrimental, with the frame rate dropping as low as 11 and the average sitting just shy of 20. This is sort of playable in emptier areas where the frame rate is at its highest, but it quickly becomes headache inducing whenever there's more than one NPC on screen or the action starts to heat up. So I tried a couple of low texture mods, as well as methods to remove certain on-screen clutter, but nothing really improved the frame rate. The Intel HD graphics continued to sweat. I was forced to take things to the extreme. This is the Terrible Textures for Weak Computers mod by Gutless Vader, link in the description. And this is the Skyrim INI file found in your documents. Enabling the low-end textures mod and adjusting both the eye shadow map resolution primary and eye shadow map resolution secondary values to 512, overriding their default numbers, might be enough to get this laptop running the game, but I must warn you, what you are about to see doesn't much resemble Skyrim anymore. Having said that though, I quite like the new art style. Now I know what you're thinking, was this completely necessary? Like, really? Well, the funny thing is at 800 by 600 this cartoonish version of Skyrim doesn't actually run too much better. It's about 3 frames more on average. I guess those 3 frames could mean the difference between playable and unplayable, but my goodness, you have to ask yourself if the visual sacrifice is worth it. Personally, I think the new Team Fortress 2 look is pretty cool, and it's interesting to see how all of those unique landmarks have changed with these visuals applied. In short, yes, this is somewhat necessary for this hardware though, especially as we move up to 720p. This is where the game really suffered before, but now that we've absolutely adapted the visuals, the overall average frame rate is much better, coming in at 25. Villages and settlements do still slow the game down a bit, and just a word of warning, don't be alarmed when you see the title screen for the first time. It's not a glitch, it's the new smoke effects. The textures are now so low that the laws of physics have been altered and the world of Skyrim exists in a universe where smoke is solid. So let's spend a couple of minutes wandering around this world, taking in the graphical splendour and admiring the vast, smooth landscapes. So the main changes you are going to notice is trees, they're all smooth, rocks, they're pretty much smooth, and the floor, no matter what type of floor, whether it be dirt or snow, is also going to be smooth. Simply put, everything is going to be very smooth here, but the game does, as I say, run a little bit better for it. Now this laptop, featuring the Pentium, is rather weak, and to be honest I was surprised that Skyrim started up and ran with 30 FPS to begin with, albeit at 800 by 600. I wanted to make a few of these videos talking about different games because I imagine that a lot of people out there have specs like these, especially if they have a notebook or entry-level laptop, something like that. So seeing what does and doesn't run, in my opinion, is quite an interesting thing to take a look at. And in the next one, perhaps we'll be seeing how well Crysis can run when we turn things down quite a bit. This also gives you an opportunity to check out Skyrim in a completely different light, you know, experiencing the world in a more cartoonish overhaul, which, I'm definitely looking for positives in this sea of negativity. But seriously though, it's a unique look and it does squeeze a few more frames out of this decent title, but there we go. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it down below, leave a dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hopefully you can join me in the next one when we take a look at a very cheap PC that I picked up on eBay.